What was your relationship with the Conjuring universe before being part of it?
Yeah, I'd say just definitely a fan. Like, I mean the fact, from the very beginning, the first Conjuring, that it's gone in so many different directions just really goes to show how incredible that first movie really was. And just like the mind of James Wan at work is always going to be incredible. So yeah, I'd say I started out as a fan and I looked like Patrick Wilson. So people would always give me like, hey, you look like that guy. So it was always on my radar and I was always a big fan of his in particular. So yeah, I'd say that's my main connection with it.
Yeah, I mean, same. I think I started off as a fan and became more of a fan as we dove deeper in and as we really had to study the films, but have always enjoyed them from afar since the beginning.
Like Orion said, did you ever get comparisons to Vera before being cast as her
I
younger
never
counterpart?
did. I never
Yeah.
did. I think we had to convince more people that I could and should be her, but no, it wasn't such an obvious choice, I think.
And
Yeah.
what was it that audition process like? Because you are playing younger characters of, previously established by other actors. Just how did you prepare? Did you rewatch some of the movies beforehand? What went into that for each of you?
You can start.
Yeah, I rewatched the films, and I think a lot of it for me was mannerisms. And I noticed for myself too, there were certain ways that I would could move my face or angle my face where it resembled more of Vera as well. So little things to try to make it as convincing of a portrayal as possible. And I know that was important to Michael too, to have those mannerisms down. So rewatching the films definitely to prepare for the audition. And then also we had, I don't know, the crazy callback. It was an amazing callback. It was 3 hours long, and we were zoomed in to Michael, who was already in London. And for that, I almost feel like you can prepare and prepare, but then you kind of have to just let it all go and embrace the moment and embrace each other. You're finally in the room with someone. Orion and I just met each other for the first time. So
Hmm.
a lot of it was just being present too.
How tricky is that doing a, audition like that where you do have to have this bond, you're playing a married couple, but you're also meeting for the first time.
Yeah, I think like so lucky, that we were paired up. I think pretty much from the get-go. I was nervous. You're in the waiting room, and it was just the two of us. And she walks in, and pretty much from the get-go, we're like, "All right, let's do this."
And then, you get the part. So what is the, initial reaction when what's that call like, I guess? Were you on it together? Did they call you separately? How did that go?
Separately. Yeah, Michael called and he was like, "We want you to play young Lorraine. And so pack your bags, get ready to go to London." And yeah, I mean, just I was ecstatic. It's a very exciting franchise to join and couldn't be more grateful.
Yeah, I totally agree. There were so many things throughout the whole audition process that were like almost felt like signs or like something weird was going on. And I was in the gym before I got this call, and there was an earthquake. I'm in LA, and like that's sometimes it happens, and the whole gym was shaking, and then it stops, and like I don't know, like 5, 10 minutes later, I get a call from Michael, and it's like, whoa, like so
I didn't
much
know
just
that.
happened. Yeah,
That's
it was
wild.
surreal. Also, I haven't said this yet, but on the day I got the signed contract, like the day I officially was a part of the movie was August. Oh, I have to look up the date again. But it was the same day that Ed Warren died. Like it was the anniversary of his death. So it's just like there's all
Wow.
these random little things that were like, wow, like something's happening. Someone's lining up right now. But it was a crazy
That
experience. From a personal perspective, it's still like just being a part of the franchise is incredible.
did any of those like weird circumstances, coincidences like continue during filming for either of you? Or were there moments on set where you're like, this is a little different or unusual than usual?
There were.
I
I feel like
mean,
you have to say it, Orion.
there was this door. There was this our first scene that we shot. We're both set up, and while like camera rolling, totally like not supposed to happen. I don't know if it was in
First
frame.
take too.
First take, this door like by itself, right when we like pause, opens by itself. And everyone on set was like, whoa, what just happened? That's so weird. And yeah, we had to like, block the door. Like I had to put a sandbag behind the door after that. But it was like, wow, okay, that's like the christening of the beginning of
Right.
filming. Here we go.
Welcome,
We're
Yeah.
here.
welcome.
Yeah.
And now, did either of you, did you get a chance to kind of like sit down with Vera and Patrick and go over like how to build these characters to obviously you are playing a younger version of them, but it's also kind of a different version of them. So I think you do get to obviously bring something to it yourself. Just what was that like coming up with these new versions of those characters?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. They've laid such amazing, beautiful groundwork and beautiful performances, and they've established such a, an incredible connection and relationship that audience have fallen in love with. So there was a lot to work with, but also big shoes to fill. And they were so gracious with their time and their wealth of knowledge. They were like, ask any questions, we're open books. And yeah, I sat down with Vera and we talked all about Lorraine, but she also was so encouraging and was like, you are younger. Bring your own version to this character and just don't hold back. And she really gave me ownership over that part of the story too,
Mm.
which is really generous of her.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I think a part of me was worried that it would be so difficult to step into these shoes. And when I met Patrick for the first time, I'm like, wow, I'm meeting this legend and I'm trying to do this role. Like he's gonna be like, hey kid, what do you think you're doing? But he was so like welcoming and so just trusting in my abilities. And really at the end, he was like, um, you just do your version of it and you got this. And it was really just the best thing to hear from, this incredible person.
And did you two do anything together to kind of work on your bond, just for the two of you, Madison and Orion yourself?
Yeah, well, I feel like we were naturally put into this situation where we were alone in London and we sort of just like only had each other to hang out with. And so I think we spent a ton of time together and we talked so much about our characters and their chemistry and their history and everything. But also just being in London with no other people, I think you just kind of naturally bond and you get coffee together. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think it built really organically.
I totally agree. And like, especially because the town we were staying in was a little bit outside of London. So you had to take a train to get into like the main area. So the little town we were in, we had like the like four spots we'd always go
Yeah.
to. There was like what was the like meat spot?
Oh,
There's a really good like shawarma place, I think, and then there's like a coffee shop. So even on the days that we didn't plan to sit down and talk, we'd like be out and about and be like, "Oh, hey,
hey.
what's up?" And they are grabbing another latte. Nice. Um, yeah.
And say, is it kind of weird being in this movie where you are kind of separate from the rest of it because you two are obviously based in flashbacks and the main thread of the movie is everyone else?
Yeah, it's interesting, but I also think it sort of serves your own development of the story and like your own
Mm,
immersion. So it's interesting being separated from people and like you kind of cross paths occasionally. But it's nice because it's kind of insulated and you really get to live in your bubble of the film, you know? It was cool. I think
mm,
it served us in our performances.
I agree. I think if anything, it kind of deepened our relationship with each other. That it was like we spent so much time working on our relationship and working on our scenes together that, yeah, I think it really served in a good way, kind of like what you said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you two seen the finished version of it yet? I know we're still a little bit away from it coming out, but have you seen it, seen how it all comes together and everything?
So we've done like ADR and stuff, which is where you go back and like re-record some audio and things. But I don't think I've personally seen every single minute of the film. Yeah.
No, I'm so excited to see it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Do you think, obviously, having been on set and seeing how it's made will like affect how you look at horror movies or kind of experience horror movies when you're watching them as an audience member?
One would think, but I still am I get sucked in and they're very effective. They still work on me. I'm still scared. All the jumps I fall for. I know the trap and I'm victim every time.
Yeah, I think a little bit of both for me, honestly, because there is like the peek behind the curtain of I don't know, because there was stuff filming on set that was like, this is creepy right now. So
Yeah.
like seeing this on film is gonna get even worse. Like with, you know, a soundtrack with everything, it's just gonna heighten everything. Um, I don't know. I mean, it definitely doesn't take away the enjoyment, but it is like,
Yeah,
oh, maybe that's how they did that.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think for me too, it even just deepens my appreciation because it's so incredible and it's so hard to execute. You know, there's
right.
musicality and there's a choreography to horror that I think sometimes gets overlooked because it's so, there's a technical aspect that has to be executed so flawlessly in order for it to be effective. And
Totally.
I think I've gained such a, even having gained more understanding, a deeper appreciation for all of that.
Mhm. And now, obviously, this is being positioned as the final Conjuring film, at least with Vera and Patrick. If it does well, and I assume it's going to, because they all have, would you be interested in, reprising these roles? Maybe if there's they go the prequel route again with another whole, branch of this universe that we're in.
I
Man,
don't
would we
know.
be interested? Oof.
I mean, obviously.
I
I
know.
mean, yeah, I think just being a part of this, even just in this movie, like that's enough for me to just be a part of this incredible thing and just like have even the smallest fingerprint on it is absolutely incredible. The spinoff, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna say no to, yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
I completely agree. I think just being able to be in this universe in general has been so exciting and incredible.
Hmm.
And I'm curious just for you both, which franchise like spirit or creature maybe creeped you out the most beforehand? I know we have Annabelle, the Nun, the Thin Man, Bathsheba. There's all these very now iconic, monsters.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like most recently, not beforehand, but most recently, Annabelle has been really freaking me out. She's been in the news a lot, and I'm like, okay, Annabelle,
Right?
yeah, she's been freaking me
Were you
out.
all like texting about that as all that
Yes.
stuff was going on? Just
Yeah. And
wreaking
so,
havoc across the United
I
States?
know, I'm like,
Yeah, especially like right now, like it's all like as we speak, you know, what's going
she
on?
knows.
Yeah,
She knows the film's coming out.
yeah. Oh, yeah, who knows?
Right. What do you guys think about Matt Rife having the house now?
I wouldn't want it. That's all
Wild.
I
I
gotta
yeah,
say.
yeah, that's what I'm
You know,
thinking.
you
It's
do
like,
what you want with your money, but I'm steering clear.
yeah, be careful, man. You know, we'll
You know
see.
better.
Yeah.
And just lastly, we have spooky season about to start. Just what are your kind of go-to Halloween plans? What are you maybe thinking about doing this year? Now that you'll have a horror movie in theaters.
Question.
That is a great question. I haven't made any specific plans this year. Um, I mean, it would be funny if we dressed up as Young Ed and Lorraine and went
Yeah,
to a Halloween party together. That would be really fun.
maybe we need to do that,
Maybe,
actually.
yeah, maybe we got to.
And buy your Annabelle popcorn bucket.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
That'll
I
be
don't know.
handy
Also,
one.
still dangerous. I don't know.